Okay, welcome back once again. Now going to start with the second phase of the session. That's SBR exam format. Exam format. Students, SBR exam is based on two sections. Section A, Section B. Number one, Section A, 30 marks. Section A, question number 1, 30 marks. Section A, question number 2, 20 marks. Section B, question 3 and question 4, both 25 marks. Now what inside the questions? Section A, question number 1, 30 marks. That's related to group accounts and other syllabus area. Means major part of question 1, major means out of 30 marks, it's 22, 24 marks group accounts and 4 to 6 marks other area of the syllabus. Means examiner can examine other accounting standards, current development, conceptual framework, performance measurement, but not ethics, because the placement of ethics with question number 2, 20 marks. Question number 2, 20 marks. Question number 2, 20 marks. Accounting issues and ethical implications. So we can say that section A and section B. Before starting the paper, we will aware that yes, section A is major about, section A question 1 major about group accounts. Section A question 2, that's the ethical implications with accounting issues. But section B, 25 marks to question. It's totally random. No one knows what inside the question. Examiner can examine case-based question, any part of syllabus, but not ethics. Accounting standard, performance measurement, conceptual framework, current developments, everything, including investor perspective. That is what the structure of the exam. That's a point. Total 100 marks paper. 100 marks. 4 marks professional, 96 technical marks. 4 professional marks. 2 belongs to ethics. That's how qualitative we respond about the ethical issues. How to deal with ethical issues. Means identify the ethical issue and response that ethical issues, including the action points. If we attempt ethics in a qualitative manner, automatically the marker will add 2 marks to us. So that is free marks. Same case for investor perspective. If you draft your answer about investor perspective in a qualitative manner, you will not only able to get technical marks, but also free 2 professional marks. That's a point. Very important. Sir, from September 23, ACCA has changed some exam format of SBR. Do remember the changes with exam format, not with respect to syllabus. So what is this about? Come on. Students, about the changes, now we are going to discuss with specimen 1. I hope screen is clear. Huh? SBR International Specimen 1. SBR International Specimen 1, valid from September 23 onwards. Valid from September 3 onwards. That's the point. So this is what question. Question 1. These are exhibits. Initial acquisition of grain. That is something about acquisition. Then subsequent acquisition. Subsequent acquisition. Then something about fair value adjustment. Fair value adjustment. Then examiner here with the fourth one has given a drafted consolidated accounts. Here the drafted consolidated balance sheet. Drafted consolidated balance sheet. Drafted consolidated balance sheet, and this drafted consolidated balance sheet having some missing figures. For example, the goodwill, some missing figure. Goodwill, some missing figures. And this investment associate, for example, this is a wrong figure. So what examiner expect? To rectify the errors and sort out the missing figure. And also expect some time that need to explain your work. Let's make more clarification with the requirement. This 30 marks question. By the way, whatever the changes has made with the structure only belongs to question number 1. Group accounts question. For example, this A1 is about discuss why should classified as associate. This is something about associate, not subsidiary. How to account for associate. How to account for associate. A2. Why classification to change to subsidiary. That means here something about subsidiary. And how to additional purchase of 18%. I'm not discussing the technical points. Then the fair value adjustment. And this is what the change here. Examiner here mentioned then using pre-populated spreadsheet option. Pre-populated spreadsheet means drafted consolidated accounts. Pre-drafted, pre-populated, pre-designed. Here the consolidated accounts already made but having some mistake. Using pre-populated spreadsheet option, using exhibit 3 and your previous answers means refer the consolidated accounts and use exhibit 3 and all other workings, all other adjustments. Need to make adjustment with the spreadsheet. Need to make adjustment of consolidated accounts in order to prepare a corrected consolidated balance sheet. Corrected. This is what about correction of errors. This is what about sort out the missing figure and incorporate it. This is what about explanation of missing figure, explanation of correction of errors. And the spreadsheet should take into account all 4 adjustments. This is what about 12 marks. This is what the ACCA has started from September 23. And what I personally think, the examining team has given to the students more margin about workings calculations, because other than before September 23, this pre-populated spreadsheet options was not available, and it's something about discussion. So here the replacement of discussion with calculations. So here examining team has incorporated some calculation aspects. So it's more easier for the student to grasp the marks. That's the point. Yes, pre-populated means pre-designed, pre-posted, or already prepared consolidated accounts. Either consolidated balance sheet, either consolidated income statement, or consolidated cash flow. Students, I strongly suggest this is what, and we will make a practice for this group accounts, not to worry. Sir, are there questions available for practice? Don't worry. 2 specimen questions available. Number 2, I am expecting that ACC will also publish September 23 exam as well. Even if it's not available, no worries. September 23 mock available. December 23 mock will also be available 3 weeks before the exam by 14th or 15th of November. And more about Education Hub. Education Hub material includes a practice question and all practice questions with new designed structure with pre-populated consolidated accounts with a new style question, new design question, new style questions. So that is the point. Candidates, students, I strongly suggest, I have made a detailed video about SBR exam format changes. Watch that video from my YouTube channel. I will also provide link to you people. In fact, this introduction video will be available on the YouTube channel as well, and wherever you're watching the YouTube video, the link mentioned with the YouTube video, also the link about the SBR exam format changes video. Don't worry. So it's available. Don't worry. So is this clear to all of you? The link will be available and the link will attach with my YouTube video. Don't worry about that. Is this clear? Okay. Next agenda point. What should be the right approach to study SBR? What should be the right approach to study SBR? Students, if you really wanted to develop right approach, so listen or watch this slide very carefully. SBR syllabus and SBR exam designed by examining team. So whatever the study approach you wanted to design, you must have to develop your strategy according to the examiner expectation. According to the examiner expectation. So I have made a block here that how can we approach to determine that what's the examiner expectation. Number 1, if you really wanted to know the examiner expectation, read the examiner mind. Sir, how to read the examiner mind? If you really wanted to read the examiner mind, you need to understand the examiner expectations. Sir, how do we know the examiner expectations? The examiner expectations you can get by reading or understanding the document published by the ACC examining team. Means read the examiner statements. If you really read the examiner statement and obey the advices mentioned on the document, actually your preparation according to the examiner expectation, and this is what about the right study approach. So, sir, where can we find these examiner statements? Three examiner statements are key. Three examiner statements, one by one. The first examiner statement, statement number one. Read it. Candidates' mindset about SBR, not only as financial reporting. That's already I have covered. This statement means your study SBR study approach must be balanced approach. This statement I declared a statement, I declared a terminology for this statement called balance approach. Balance approach. Sir, what does this mean? What does this mean? Balance approach. 5 syllabus area. SBR subject started from September 18. SBR subject started from September 18. SBR subject started from September 18. From September 18 till now, I have analyzed the past exam papers, and this analysis has made for exam weightage. So based on these past paper, I have analyzed that almost 55 to 60% examiner examine the accounting standard. 8 to 10% examiner examine conceptual framework. 7 to 10% ethical implications. 8 to 12% performance measurement. 10 to 12% current development. So your study approach must be allocated with this exam weightage. If you assume that you will invest 100 hours for the preparation of SBR exam. Sorry, you will invest 100 hours for the preparation of SBR exam. So you have to allocate your 100 hours with this proportionate. 55 to 60% means 55 to 60 hours for IFRS, 8 to 10 hours conceptual framework, 7 to 10 hours ethics, 8 to 10, 12 hours performance measurement, and 10 to 12 hours for current development. What normally you do mistake, 90% of the time you people invest for accounting standard. 90% of time you people invest on accounting standards, and only 10% with the least concern for the rest of the part, and then go for the examination hall. And at the examination hall, the things become bounce back to you, because your preparation is not according to examiner expectation. That's called balance approach. Are you getting the point? Students, can you please reply me? Can you please reply me? So first thing what you should do, that's balance approach. Number 2, second statement number 2, you need to develop your ability to explain your working. This is examiner statement. The ability to explain your working is essential skill that is required in the workplace, and it is for that reason that the examining team has taken this approach. That means explanation of the working. Develop your mindset for SBR. Business, British Airways. We as an accountant, financial statement, transaction, what examiner expecting us? Now, next picture. What this guy is doing, presenting something. This examiner expecting us to present this transaction. Ability to explain your concept and working. That is what examiner expecting. So you need to practice not the numbers, but the drafting. That's the point. So second important thing, ability to explain your concept and workings. Third statement, in this exam, examiner requires expertise from the candidates, not only from the point of view of the preparer of the corporate reports, but also from the perspective of different stakeholders, that is investor perspective. Investor perspective. That's a point. Let's take example. Accountant perspective. Recording, presenting, reporting of transaction. That's already covered. Investor perspective, decision making. Let's take one example. Example about what? What's mentioned on the screen? What's mentioned on the screen? Do reply me. What's mentioned on the screen? What's mentioned on the screen? Investment property. Investment property. Very good. Accountant perspective. Accountant perspective. Number one, how to record IP investment property here. How to record investment property transaction by IS 40. As accountant, cost model, IS 16. As accountant, we know fair value model. Fair value model means updated fair value with P&L adjustment. But what about the investor perspective? Assuming you are an investor and right now you are actually analyzing the past 5 years data of the financial statement of this company, and previously 5 year the company reported the investment property. Okay, assuming that an investor is analyzing the situation. Number one, if the company reported investment property by cost model, so the analysis made by the investor about income statement, the depreciation income statement, that's consistent. The statement of financial position, assuming the straight line depreciation, the consistent depreciation expense. In statement of financial position, the investment property carrying amount reduces in a linear manner, in a constant manner, which means the cost model, it's not up to the market, but consistent and a smooth approach. On the other hand, if the company report by the fair value model, the fair value is something rocky situation, sometime up, sometime down, rocky situation. Income statement, fair value adjustment, not consistent. Sometime fair value adjustment high, sometime low, sometime profit, sometime loss. In balance sheet, it's updated, but not in a constant manner. So fair value model is most updated, but not consistent, not inconsistent, but not consistent. So more certainty with the cost model as compared to fair value model. I'm not concluding something. I'm not saying that which one is right, which one is wrong. Both models available. But what the viewpoint of investor, that's the another point. If you are writing with investor perspective, so you need to change your position 180-degree from accountant to investor. Three statements. Three statements to develop the mindset. What's the right study approach for SBR? Number one, balance approach. Balance, coverage all 5 syllabus areas with integration. Number 2, ability to explain the principles and answer. Number 3, investor perspective. Need to focus investor perspective. That's a point. So that is the point that you need to develop your approach. Students, can you please reply me? Is this clear? What should be the direction? What should be the direction for the SBR preparation? Now, SBR real challenges. Quickly, what are the real challenges? Number 1, it's a real challenge to cover the 100% syllabus area and revise the 100% syllabus. Both are challenging. The first thing. Number 2, when you are practicing the question, the challenge is drafting challenge, because normally FR, you people are only having a good practice or only having a command for the numbers, but here about drafting challenges, how to write the answer. But believe me, this is the initial phase. You feel some difficulties. Once you move on about the drafting aspect, then the things become simple. Of course, the time management. Number 3, practice the question with the CBE platform. Don't practice manually. Don't practice even word. Try to attempt and practice question with the CBE platform. At least for all SBR pass exam paper. If you are practicing other question, for example, CAD question, you can attempt on the Word, MS Word, Microsoft Word, or using the Excel for spreadsheet functions, but not to do manual practice. So these are the challenges, sir. How to overcome these challenges? Number 1, do remember coverage of syllabus and exam practice question. You both need to do in a simultaneous manner. Coverage of syllabus and exam practice, both you need to cover in a simultaneous manner. Don't develop a strategy first, cover the entire syllabus, then will make practice. No, simultaneously coverage the syllabus plus practicing the question. Number 2, practice the exam. If you really want to overcome your practice challenges, means drafting technique, overcome the challenge of time management, overcome the challenge of CB practice, so you have to practice the question in exam simulation. Practice the question with exam simulation. Exam simulation means if I give you an assignment for 25 marks, so for 25 marks, assume you have 45 minutes. So open your system, open the CB format, log the time 45 minutes, start drafting irrespectively. at the end of 45 minutes how much question you will be able to cover. This is irrespective. But must have to practice with the exam condition. Exam condition means lock the time. Number two, switch off your mobiles, means avoid distractions, and do it on the CB format. That's an important point. Third important point to cover these challenges: regularly reply on assignments. Regularly submit the assignments, and at 3 mocks I will conduct: mid mock and 2 final mocks. Have to submit on time and get the feedback. Monitor your performance on a regular basis. Monitor your performance on a regular basis. That's a key point. So that is about the challenges and the solution. The highest motivation factor for SBR, the passing ratio is average 50%. 50% chance that you will pass your exam. 50%, that's the highest motivation factor. Highest motivation factor. What includes the practice? These are the practice questions. 14 practice questions available with the CB format. 14. Maybe possible September 23 exam question will also available. That's a key point. Plus specimen question and ACCA published mocks. Total 17 questions. 17 multiplied by 4. Each exam having 4 questions. Means 68 questions. Pass exams. You don't need to cover any kit. This is your kit. Attempt this question. Last point, SBR with HussainQazi.com. Number one, the videos available, recorded videos, that includes phase 1 concept building, phase 2 exam practice questions. Number 2, 100% course notes. No need to refer any book for SBR. My course notes are good enough. Some suggested answer I will share you. That's very beneficial for you. Suggested answers means your model answer, it's not student caliber, but almost for each topic I've made some suggested answer for the sake of the students. So with the suggested answer you will be able to find how to draft the answer, how much to write for how much marks. Means you have, the basic principle is that you have to write your answer according to the marking schemes. So I have made some suggested answer according to the marking scheme and the student caliber. On a regular basis, regular meetings we have. Every Saturday, 7 p.m., we have a regular meeting. We will assign you the assignments and you will get feedbacks accordingly. Same after a month, mock and feedbacks. So these things very important: weekly meetings and assignment feedbacks, mocks and feedbacks. From my course, the learning outcome, these are the learning outcomes. Number 1, based on my lectures, you will be able to get knowledge of the entire syllabus. SBR practice questions to cover SBR exam sections, including group accounts, new exam format, SBR drafting techniques, smart exam techniques, where you will be able to catch the marks either easy or hard, and we will cover also the examiner report analysis. By the way, with this lecture, a lot of things I've covered with the examiner reports. Do you agree that? For example, the study approach, that's called balance approach, writing aspects, writing and drafting techniques, investor perspective, that's all about the examiner report aspects. The frequently asked questions from your side. Normally, student ask these questions. You can add more questions. Number one, what study text required for SBR preparation? My answer is no study text required, not no study required. Sorry, no study text required. Only the HussainQazi.com notes are enough to cover entire syllabus. What revision kit required for SBR preparation? No revision kit requires, only practice material of HussainQazi.com plus SBR pass exam practice question from September 18 are enough to pass the exam. What technical articles are important for SBR? Not all technical articles are relevant, but during the course, me, Hussain Qazi, will provide you guidance about this matter. How to access lectures and tell when the lectures will be available. The lectures will be available through the G drives, and the LMS access will be available till your exam date. How to submit assignment mocks and able to get feedbacks. You need to submit your assignment with this email, SBR by HussainQazi@gmail.com, and after submission of assignment you will get your answer maximum by 3 working days, and that's start from tomorrow. How the live session will conduct and what are the timings? The live session will conduct every Saturday 7 p.m. plus 5 GMT or Pakistan Standard Time through Zoom channel. What are the key variables to get success of the SBR exam? Lectures, notes, assignments, motivation. At any moment of time, you are your mind says that I'm not able to do something, or like this, or you are demotivating, you are in depressing mode. So call me or WhatsApp me. We can talk on call, and I will motivate you accordingly. Because motivation as a software element is very much important. It's very important variable to get success. How much proportionate the SBR exam with theory and calculation? After new exam structure, question 1 pre-populated consolidated financial statement. Approx 20% of the exam about calculation, but the ability to explain calculation is one of the key factors for the success of SBR exam. SBR roadmap is ready. Lectures, notes, assignments, mocks, progress evaluation, motivation, and the positive mindsets. Do you have any question? You can ask me, because I am going to take a 5 minutes break. Session is not over, because with this today's session we will also attempt a basic practice question. Basic practice question, this question. We are going to take 5 to 7 minutes break, where after that we will attempt that question. Do you have any question? You can ask me. So this part of the session is now over. Thank you very much. Now wait for the another one.